Killface of Baylor here. I am playing today as Nimu Chuerio on Aral. So here is my token pile to start with, and my weapons pile. We're going to do some chest openings. So you can see I have the bat, and I have some of these flutes and whatnot already. And then we've got the fashion is marked by the hat, the seasonal hat. So that's where our line is, unless we get similar fashion up here that may get tucked in. And as far as the consumables, I have banked any consumables as far as I could see that were pre-boxed or otherwise would get mixed up. So we should be able to see what we have. And we've got 488 chests. I do want to do a video at some point talking about the different deals, right? Because if I don't have a ton of time here. We've got about 15 minutes to film this, so we'll see how it goes. But if we look at this shop here, I get 8 chests for 300 platinum, right? And then later, if we do one where the math is a bit easier, right? I get 83 chests for 3,200 platinum. That doesn't actually work out, right? That 200 I'm getting shorted because I should get 2/3 of 8, which is not 3. Anyway, the math is basically you can ask Siri to divide the number of chests you get, or the amount of platinum you spend by the number of chests you get. If I have 488 chests, that is 61 batches of this, which is my best at 37.5 platinum each. Some of these other ones here, for instance, is more like 38 something. Basically, overall, I'm having 38.5, 39.5, somewhere in there, versus the 37.5 of buying them in batches of 8 for 300. So, just something to keep in mind. Ask Siri to do the math on your. Oh, nice. Bogan charm. I like to have those extra little charms. I think I just got some sort of expansions, but we'll see. It's fine. Anyway, maybe not. See if I can get this to actually. I had 2 pet tokens to start with, no mount tokens. We'll see whether or not I can open 400 of these in the requisite few minutes. I have my doubts, but maybe, or I guess almost 500. I'll probably take whatever platinum I get out of this. I had 5 platinum to start with. I'll probably take the rest and open chests on Baylor later. Sorry if my voice sounds a bit scratchy. I've been sick for weeks. The last time I uploaded, I thought I was just having severe allergy symptoms, but it wasn't too long after that I definitely got sick. So I haven't been posting or really doing anything of the sort recently. So we'll see. Hopefully I'll pick up enough platinum here to have some to spend on Valor as well. I just want to make sure that that here on Iran, where there's a more active community, I have this character sorted. I need to run both of my primary characters at least to level 230 eventually. Killface actually has enough seeds that I can move the seedling up if I'll actually level him. I'm hoping to be on doing some leveling over the double platinum, probably not as much as I'd like, but at least some. So we'll see how that goes. I don't know how Kill's build will be for leveling in the valley, so I'll probably do a video there, although it might be kind of terrible. Death Shadow asked me to do a video on farming gold. I do need to still do that. Sadly, one of the best tips for farming gold is to level. It can be expensive and difficult, but the higher level you go, the more things you can kill, and the more things you can kill, the more likely you are to be able to farm gold. So I'll try to do a video explaining a few of the things that can be done at different stages of the game. Eventually, I might have a couple of early game guides from when I just kind of hung around at early game. I don't like the leveling portion of this game very much, which is unfortunate because it's a huge portion of the game. But my favorite thing to do is generally help lower levels with their quests and things like that. And even so, my best option is almost always to go ahead and level. So much as I hate that, it is the case. The other thing is here on Nimue, I'm really hoping to get just an absurd number of health sigils because I'm a warrior, which means I'm going to have high health. And if I go tank, which I'm not at this point, but if I go tank, then I really need high health. And the regen for that, if possible, I like to be able to regenerate my health and my energy in a couple of ticks. One would be great, but that might be unrealistic. But if I'm going to go 60,000 health, I want 15,000 sigils as a minimum if I can get away with it. Now, I'm spending real money here periodically, and I've been on the game for years and years as well. Both of those things come into play. A new player coming in doesn't have that luxury, and it's not a necessity. It's just very convenient. I'll also go through some quality of life things at some point, I'm sure. I think I have a few quality of life videos up. But yeah, the easiest thing for leveling or for farming is leveling, sadly, and that is true of both regular leveling and fishing. I've heard very mixed reviews at best on the efficacy of cooking, and it's going to be player-based. But for the most part, the foods that players need, the big clans are already supplying, or that kind of thing. So you're not going to have the kind of cooking that you would necessarily hope for. I need to see if I have enough extra barrows or something like that to give out some damaged food on kill phase, but I don't know for sure at this point. Yeah, we'll take a look. There are some low-level bosses that are good for farming, and it also depends on your server. On Baylor, we are going to be merged with another server before too long, hopefully, and that will change the dynamic big time. Might change the economy significantly too, which that would matter. Because the economy does come into play in a big way here. We're almost halfway done. That's half of 512, which is what, 24 different from, yeah, so 12 less should have been half. 244 would have been my halfway point. It does look like we have a halfway decent amount of platinum, and because the 300 batches are actually my most efficient, unless I missed one, I ran the math on many of them. But the easiest way to do that is definitely just either punch it into Google or ask Siri or something like that. I mean, I'm all for run the math yourself if you want to, but I don't want to assign homework for a game like this. High-level fishing can net you a lot of money just straight from the server itself by getting just those money fish that sell pretty expensively, as well as getting you some good resources, potential rings to sell to other players, things like that. Having a good reputation, I will always say, is going to be your most effective farming tool, your most effective building tool. This is an MMO, right? So the more that people want to help you, what I'm spending money on is actually the ability to have fun with other people, and in this specific case, some nostalgia as well. So that's going to be a pretty big difference. And that's boring. Nobody likes to hear that having a good reputation and helping out other people is the way to make money, but it is. It is. Also, just being able to kill low-level bosses. Bosses drop money, and they drop something useful that you can pass on to the next set of people. If I spend all of my time killing meteoric bosses, and I build a build that makes that cheap for me, where I don't have to consume a lot of resources to do it, and I can do it pretty quickly, that's pretty helpful. Or I go out into Stonevale, and I kill all of the disc bosses. That's pretty helpful. And then I'm left with either the ability to sell those discs and things, or, as in my case, I give those away, because what I'm actually doing is investing in server culture, which is worth more than the extra gold. And you can get a lot of extra gold, right? If you're going to sell, the drops like discs and things like that. Look for the things that are hard for people to get. Dragon discs, not a lot of bosses drop them. But then sell them in the quantities people are going to need too. You can sell them individually, but if you sell them in 2 or in 4, you're going to be able to upcharge for it a little bit, because then people can buy a whole set, right? If you sell 3 mind tablets together, that's something that people really care about, and so you can make decent money doing that without having to be super high level. Now, Coppinger is a little bit hard to kill. You kind of need some levels. There's some specific money bosses. There's one on the way to the Legacy Smuggler Lux Trader, and that's a level 25 star. It's only 1,000 gold or so that it drops, and it can be as low as 500. But that's level 20. You can kill it in a single hit if you're high level, and if you're only level 50, 60, you can probably still solo that without having to use a bunch of resources. So we have some options, right? So I'll go through a dedicated video eventually. Hopefully we're somewhere near the end of this. I'm trying to click my way through all this. I hope it's not too boring for you, but we'll look at what I got here fairly soon. I'm not watching clan chat either, so we'll see how that goes. I should probably at some point do some specific Dawn-related content or Dusk-related things like that. Just some of the reasons why I've enjoyed the server move, why I stuck around a second server, things like that. I didn't transfer off of Baylor. I had enough. I was in a position where I could just buy myself some chests and then, give myself a jump start without losing anything on Killface. Not everybody's in that position. But do a little bit of an introduction to the community and some of the reason why I have leveled up on this server as well. I might do some videos doing elixirs on Nim as well, because I feel like Nim is better built to level in the valley, which is weird because Killface has way better gear, or at least that's my impression. I can double check, but overall, I would say Killface has significantly better gear than Nimue does. Okay, so yeah, we have almost 5,500 platinum. Also, it looks like we have one chest. That is sometimes a glitch that happens, but here's kind of what we got there. 15 bank, 9 backpack. Those backpack expansions are extremely valuable because the system is very stingy with them. 83 health sigils, so that's 83 times 5. 3 times 5 is 15. 8 times 5 is 40, so 415 additional health regen. And what I'd like to do is to trade my energy sigils for health sigils as well. We'll see. But that's what that looks like. Let's look at the fashion here. Never mind. Fashion. And we go down until hat. And here's kind of the rest of it. Okay, that's awesome. I like that charm. Some Royal Dragon stuff. I'm a big fan of the Royal Dragon. I like these effects, but this particular type of fashion, I can never tell what color it is. It does some weird stuff to my eyes. That's what I wanted. Black crowsight boots. I think I already have a pair. Yes, but I'll always take a second. Purple crowsight. I also like that. Yeah, so I got some okay fashion stuff. Let's check weapons. No additional mounts or anything like that. And then tokens. Nothing in the stables column. We did get a phoenix egg, and we got 26 mount tokens. I'm going to need a fourth of that purple token there. We got 26 mount tokens. We got 21 pet tokens. As you can probably see, my pig needs to be, I need to start over on some fancy pet if I want to do that. But I might have someone looking for a phoenix egg, don't know. But the mount tokens are useful. If we go back to my stables, I have another 6, right? So I have a 6, which is what I ride. I have a 4. I have a 3. Each one of these takes 4 tokens. So the second one is 8. The third one is 6. The level 3 is 16. The level 4 is 32. I'm not at the point, even with those extra bounty tokens, that I can get my other level 4. But I can get the level 3, which will give me 2 4s. I'll have a 6 and a 5 and a few extra tokens. So I'm well on my way. Overall, I'm relatively happy with that. And if we look at the gold, I was at, not completely broke, but I got a few 100K out of that. And then, obviously, the lots of extra platinum. So anyway, hope you enjoyed this, and I will see you again, hopefully shortly, in the next video. Thank you, and have a wonderful day.